Ka sorkar jela hapo ka jingalam Menteri Rangba ukonrat ke sangma haka khandai terik rempang kala menjur ban wanra jingkela haka bayade bat ka Meghalaya Building Bylaws 2021 na kebenta ka shngain hakikam ïing sem. Habakren Syllad pathai kubor UCM ulaong ngila menjur haka bayade bat ki kato katne ki jingkela haka Meghalaya Building Bylaws 2021 bat ban penek pensa ya ka jingroy ki jakasor hapo ka jela. Ya kini ki jingkela la le da ka babut renti katkum ki kendon jong ka sorkar India badru ban pentikna na ka benta ka shngain jong ki jingtei ïing badru ban pentikna baki to ki badon ya ki jaka ki barit kin la ban pendon kam khambun ka jaka namar khama shua ki ladon ki jing perking ha ka bayde bat ka jing pelai jaka na shakhmat shadien bat na shakan riang ya ka bala penjun sur menta. Nalor kata UCM ulo ongru ba num ijing bit satya ban shngain haki jaka balong sharing nerian kumba 100% la nepalan. Kata da ka bakhmi haka bayade bat ka shngain jong ki ïing kisem. Ulo ongru ba ki ïing ki badon haki jaka sharing nerian kumba 100% nepalat ru ki don ki kendon bat ki jing perking. Kata da ka bakhmi halor ka jing kenjang bat ka jing pendon kam ya ka jaka. U konrad ulo ong shushu baki jingtei ki badon ya ka kenjang ne height ka bapalat arpunyo mitar ki deiban yo ya ka jingbet na ka sorkar. Lada ka jingtei kan kenjo sya ka palat arpunyo mitar ki don kamban yo ya ka jingbet bat ka jingmenjur na ka sorkar. Khama shua labu saupo mitar Henry mentala penhiar sya ka arpunyo mitar ka kenjang jong ki jingtei ong konrad. Shushu Menteri ula ongru bakini ki jingkela ki nyarap shibun bantek lakam haka bayade bat ki jipun ken yaki ïing sem.
The fourth was the approval that was given to some amendments to the Meghalaya Building Bylaws 2021 for sustainable urban development in Meghalaya. These amendments are being done in line with certain provisions and certain conditions that has been put in by Government of India, number one, and also to ensure that overall safety of the buildings are there, and also to ensure that the smaller land holdings, there could be more utilization of the land by small land owners, because earlier there were some restrictions in terms of the gap that you have to leave from the front, in the rear, and the sides, and so that has been reduced. And some other amendments have been made, for example, to the height of the buildings that are permissible, and also to the construction of buildings in areas which are 50 degrees and higher slopes. Certain provisions will apply. Earlier, say suppose there was a certain size, plot size that you had. The laws required you to leave about 3 meters from the front, about I think 2 meters from the side, and I think rear also about 2 meters. So depending on now the different land sizes, and obviously on lands which are not on 40 degrees slope, so which is more on the plain land, plainish, not too steep. So based on that, the gap that you leave from the boundary wall to the building, that gap has been reduced. Say for example, for 500 square feet or square meters of land, and below that it has been reduced, like from the front to 2 meters, from the rear to 1 meter, which means 3 feet. Earlier it used to be 6 feet, now it will be 3 feet from the back, and from the side also it used to be 6 feet, now it will be reduced to 3 feet, so on and so forth. So without trying to misquote or without giving you wrong details, if necessary we will send you the information a bit later, but basically those are the changes that were made. Yeah, I think I got it now. Thank you.
Your X-handle has been very helpful. You can put it there.
Yes, I'll put it there. Fair enough. Because as I said, these are very technical things I don't have, But I got the table now. It was wrong. So plot of 300 square feet to 500 square feet. The front will be 2.1 meters, rear will be 1 meter, and sides will be 1 meter. 500 to 750 square feet, again 2.1 front, 1 meter rear, and 1 meter on the side. 751 to 1000, 2.5 meters in the front, 1.5 meters at the rear, and 1 meter in the sides. And these numbers were different earlier because, say for example, up to 1000 square feet, it used to be 2.5 meters in the front, and rear was 1.5, and size was 1 meter. So certain changes have been made. As I said, I will put it on my social media. I think that will be much more fairer. But point is that we have tried to allow people to, the basic point being, I think this is the important part which I would like you to share. Most important is, number one, wherever possible, we have tried to give more space to people to construct their buildings so that the land and the gap between the boundary wall and this thing is minimized. That's number one. Number two, we have reduced the permissions to MUDA to give buildings above 27 meters permission. If the buildings above 27 meters are there, they have to come to government to take approval. So that has been approved. So earlier it was up to 40 meters. Now it has been reduced up to 27 meters. So MUDA can only give
This is the
height of buildings above 27 meters will have to come to government. It's not that we are not allowing, but it will be special permission. So MUDA will be only allowed up to 27 meters. Third most important thing which we have said is that any land which is at 50 degrees of slope, no building permission will be given for lands that has 50 degrees in slope and or above. The building permission, buildings cannot be constructed. This is keeping in mind the safety of the building and all this aspect. And 50 meters is quite steep slope, as you can imagine. So that is one thing. And for buildings that are 40 degrees and above, there are certain restrictions that will be put in terms of the height and the space that you can occupy, and so on and so forth. So we are working on creating a much more planned and more safer building constructions, keeping in mind the different situations that are being faced in different parts of the country and the world, and trying to see if these laws can come in so that it can make the buildings safer in the long run.